Paging Dr. Juan. Paging Dr. Juan.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up? What's up?
I'm Billy Prampa. I'm your co-host.
And I am Dave Herrera, and we're excited to have you here.
Welcome to another episode of Revive America, episode 10. Is this the end?
Is this the end?
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, not just here in the United States, but abroad as well, too, in
Yeah.
the Ukraine,
Oh, God.
in the land of Joe Biden's pimp. How's your week been?
It's been all right. Yourself?
It's been the same.
Yeah.
Well, and actually hasn't been the same. It's actually been pretty good. It's been better than last week.
Before we get rolling, make sure you guys, as you can see, we are streaming now from the Revive page. So if you
Correct.
haven't already, like, follow, and share with
Share.
your friends. We do this for you, so the more people you get this out to, the easier this is for us.
And also, you guys still aren't taking. Actually, 11 people took you up on the offer.
Send me your
don't know-
Venmo.
I don't know who those logins are, but like
Send me your Venmo.
11 people actually took you up on your offer
So I'm
and
down
actually
$11.
subscribed. That's fine, man.
So we need 14 more subscribers
That's
so we
it.
could stream on
That's
Rumble.
it.
So
Get
if you
your
have
dollar,
Rumble,
man.
yeah, get you a
Juan.
dollar, bro.
Get your
That's an Arizona iced tea. That's the only thing that didn't go up during inflation.
Shout out to Arizona Ice
Shout
Tea
out
holding it down. They
for
got to be.
being delicious.
Bro, it's either they're hemorrhaging funds or they were raking in ludicrous
don't know.
profits for
They
decades,
have to,
for
bro.
years.
I mean,
bro.
it probably costs a nickel to make in Arizona.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
they must have been making ludicrous profit for it to be like, but then that means in the 1990s they were killing us. Like they're probably charging you like 95 cents for
back when a Happy Meal was $2. Arizona's been like, we are $1 forever.
that is it. Right?
forever.
People
It's
are like,
a
damn,
staple of every like corner store, bodega, 7
upper
like.
echelon drink at one point.
I mean, listen,
Still
because
to this
when
day,
you
I
went
should
out
say.
and you only had $10 and you're like, I need a pack of cigarettes and a drink. There's
Still way
Arizona
forward.
iced tea and an $8 pack of Newports, and you had a couple dollars.
That was the way
left.
forward. Thankfully, I don't smoke anymore.
Yeah,
It's a good time.
just vape. You know, I know you're off the vape.
I'm
So-
trying to stop it.
Well, we got a good show for you today. So let's get to it.
Yeah, man. Let's see what the first one is for today. Oh, interesting story.
Very interesting.
So, if you guys aren't aware of what's been going on in San Francisco,
Nancy's district.
I wonder why. They're starting to do stuff like this. San Franciscans line up to support reparations plan to give to every black resident $5 million to wipe personal debt and hand out $97,000 in guaranteed incomes and homes for just $1. But no one asks how the city will pay.
I'm just gonna say I now identify as black and I'm moving to San Francisco.
You know what's the funniest thing about all of this though is California did not enter the Union until 1850.
California was always a free state.
It was always a free state.
There was never any slaves in California. In fact, let's be fair. There were slaves, but they weren't black. They were Mexican slaves because California was a part of Mexico for a very long.
I don't know about Mexican slaves. What
I'm saying
have
is,
the evidence to say
as far as people being mistreated
for sure,
by Americans or white people, it wasn't black Americans.
To be fair, they lost the war, and people say, "Well, they stole the war," and I get it.
It's called the spoil of war.
It's called a war. It's war. Yeah, it's war.
There really aren't any rules.
That's why it's called war.
So,
unfortunately,
this is absolutely nuts. Because again, I don't think this. I think the woke mob will be like, "This is amazing. This is one of a kind." But again, who pays for this?
You know, the thing that's funny about you saying that is whenever I have these discussions about reparations, like, oh, so you're not for reparations? And I'm like, whether I'm for reparations or not is completely irrelevant if you do not have a very legitimate answer as to how you're going to pay for this. Okay, if you don't have a way to explain how you're going to pay for this program, it's a pipe dream until, well, we'll find, like, we just have to have it because we demand it. I'm like, that's not a good enough answer. Yeah. Because now the next question I want to know is, how do you even gauge or not even gauge, like what are, like, you know how much of a logistical nightmare that's going to be to try and find out every single person who was a descendant of a slave? And that doesn't seem to be the case in this case. It just seems like we're just going to give it to anybody that's black. You know what I'm saying? For example, my parents immigrated to this country. Like, if I move over there and I'm black, do I get the money?
Well, it's like, what if you were like black but like not from Africa? Like, what if you were from the Caribbean or
but there were
South America?
There, granted, but not like.
But again, we're talking about. I think this is aimed towards like the slaves that were taken from Africa and used,
which were not in California, by the way.
Which were not in California. I mean, look, it sounds great. Like, I see it and I'm like, wow. Like,
how do you pay for it?
But how do you pay for it? And the question is, this is just San Francisco.
Right. Just a city. What
happens when the mob comes out and goes, well, what about us? What about Chicago? What about New York? What about Florida? What about Texas? What about this? And now everybody gets $5 million because of skin color?
To be completely honest, though, honestly, and this is just my opinion, I would love to see these cities try this program because they deserve to go bankrupt. If they think something like that actually makes sense, those areas deserve to get bankrupt. They shouldn't be federally bailed out either.
This is, in my opinion, this is just another case of what idiocracy looks like at the local level government, right? This is just people pandering for votes without doing any research, right? We don't have a slide for this, but I thought it was kind of funny. We're near Newark, right? There was a story that Newark got played out by
that should have been shit of the week. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I know. I just thought about it.
We just lost a good one.
But I'm going to tell him. So Newark.
Yes.
Newark.
I'm going to look up the name of the country, by the way.
Yeah, please do. Go ahead. So I'll explain it while he looks it up.
Yeah.
So basically, Newark City Council and the mayor, they did what was called a sister city, where they were going to basically like create some sort of alliance between what was supposedly a Hindu nation. What's the name of it?
It's the non-existent Hindu nation of Kailasa.
So Kailasa. So they did this whole production. They signed over some stuff. They gave the metaphorical key to the city type of deal. And they took a bunch of photos. And it turned out that this city is not real, number one. Number two, is created by a guy who's on the run in India for rape, I believe. And he's a known scammer, and nobody did, like, and there was a guy, they did a video, this dude from Newark, he goes, didn't these people do like a Google search?
Yo, like
like a Google search would have shown, like, go to Billy's camera.
If you can't go to my camera.
Go to Billy's camera real quick.
I should put it over to Dave's camera so you can see the guy he's getting hauled out in handcuffs in India, it looks like. And this guy's smiling on his face. He looks like one of those guys that they're like, hey, if you meditate long enough, you'll float. And he's like, it's a total scam. He's one of those guys, it looks like.
Yeah, I got the
guy got played. City got played, and they basically had to like turn around and be like, "Well, we didn't give them any money. There was nothing like that." Like, but you look stupid. It's so stupid.
It calls into question the leadership at this point.
But that's again, that's a smaller scale, obviously, than what we're talking about here in San Francisco.
Right.
But it just goes to show the idiocracy of these people that we elect. Of like, this sounds like a good idea.
It's just diversity and inclusion and all. Sounding nice rather than being practical, even realistic, just seems to trump everything.
And I'm pretty positive that California is like hemorrhaging money. Like they're not fiscally responsible by any means necessary. They got rolling blackouts. They got all this wokeism that's going on over there, and they can't pay their bills. So now on top of that, let's just say, maybe there's 1 million black people that live in there.
Probably more, but yeah.
San Francisco. Let's say
San Francisco.
Right. Let's say there's 1 million. Right. You're talking about a lot of money here. You're talking about a lot of money,
and then $97,000 in guaranteed income as well too,
plus $1 house. So not only are you giving away money, you're giving people like, look, I just got a job. Like we were talking today about jobs, and like to make $100,000 a year, like it's good money, right? Like I mean, of course, we'd all like to make more, but $97,000 a year is really good money,
right?
And then take away to do $1 rent, right? And the state of New Jersey, I know, is the third most expensive state to live next to California and New York. So I can only assume that the rent out there is probably about $2,200 a month for like a 2-bedroom, just like it is here. But think about the millions you're losing in revenue, because if you're only doing $1 for the rent, how do you think that works with like the tax rates and things like that? Like who's going to want to have apartment complexes? Where's the money come from? Right. So again, it's not just the initial $5 million that you're giving to millions of people.
Right.
You're talking about the millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of salary you have to pay, and now the millions of dollars you're losing on property tax. So California should have been sheep of the week too.
Oh man, the whole entire damn state should have been sheep right now.
It kind of comes down to when you start to really look at what's happening. It's just BS all over the place. So
unfortunately,
I don't think California is going to go through with this.
You know what, bro?
But I'd like to watch them implode if they did.
I was about to say, look, Donnie's getting bored. So on to the next topic. I'm sorry, Donnie.
By the way, hold on. We got to sit him up for a second.
Special guest. Wake up. You're supposed to be the special guest, man. You can't be slouching.
We have a special guest over here.
Don't slouch.
Special guest, if you can see it on the camera over here. This is my man. This is my man, Donnie Dingles.
How you doing, Don?
We brought him out here. He is a geopolitical guru.
Yeah.
He is, he actually do a better job at transportation secretary than Pete Buttigieg. But I brought him, even though I know I give the French people a lot of time, a lot of hard time, but I got a French bulldog.
You're talking all this crap about French people. You got a French bulldog.
But he got an American flag tank top like Macho Man. But the reason we brought him is, and this is not part of the news, but I thought it was pretty cool that actually there was just a study that came out that for the first time in 30 years, Labrador Retrievers are not the most popular dog in the United States. It's the French Bulldog.
Taking over.
I remember growing up, I had a friend who had a French Bulldog, and I was like the only one I ever saw. It was like, remember in like 5 years ago when like your one friend had a Tesla and you're like, whoa, it's an electric car.
First time.
Now everybody got a Tesla with a stupid license plate, and now everybody got a French Bulldog. They're great dogs. He's chilling. He's sleeping. So I just wanted y'all to see Donnie Dingles. He's a patriot. True patriot.
Sitting up. He was in the camera and all that. Now he doesn't have the energy. He's like,
he's chilling. Your dog ran him tired, bro.
Yeah, my dog
is a menace.
My dog was just making his life extremely difficult. Hogan could not stay. Hogan kept trying to wrestle him to the ground like actual Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Look that man right in the eye, face to face.
Yeah.
Stone Cold
That's how my dog was coming at Donnie, so we had to take him home.
So Donnie is pooped. He's chilling, but he will be joining us for the episode today.
Yes.
So moving on.
Now, as the world burns down, this is the second largest bank collapse in United States history. Silicon Valley Bank collapses after failing to raise capital.
Damn, son. I was waiting for Juan to drop that one, but he didn't.
Yeah, damn, son.
You missed out. So it's funny, right? Because here we are talking about Silicon Valley Bank and not being able to raise capital for the people who actually have money in the bank. But you go to the next slide that we're showing you here, and it appears that SVB had donated over $73 million.
Million with an M.
Million. It's not Ukraine money, but it's up there. $73 million to the Black Lives Matter movement and social justice causes. Now, upon this Silicon Valley Bank board members, you have Kate Mitchell, who donated $50,000 of bank funds to Hillary Clinton's campaign. Garen Staglin, who donated $135K to the Dems, including $79 to the Hillary Clinton fund. And Mary Miller, who worked under the Barack Obama Treasury Department. So
Silicon Valley Bank, which collapsed on Friday after a classic bank run, donated more than $73 million to groups related to the Black Lives Matter movement, online records show. A database from the conservative Claremont Institute shows that the bank donated around $73,450,000 to be specific, okay,
That's a lot of
to
money.
BLM, the BLEAM movement, and other social justice related causes. The thing that I find very
Funny?
yeah, let's just say funny, right? Is a lot of these big tech companies, a lot of these very left-leaning companies invested with this bank. So at the same time, I'm kind of not sad that they're starting to implode, but what I am pissed off about is how they're talking about wanting to bail this bank out so that they can actually fulfill those deposit requests.
And I know that the press secretary, Jean Pierre,
Janet
whatever her name is, she's out here trying to say that, it's not going to cost the taxpayers any money.
Yes, it is.
And, we
Yes,
still
it
need
is.
to have faith in the banking system. And then, it was funny. They had, Carrot Top come out. What's her name? The old press secretary. I can't stand her.
Jen Psaki?
Jen Psaki.
Whatever happened to her?
She got fired.
I thought she just stepped out. But
Come on.
honestly,
That's a hard job.
bro, she's
Press secretary.
But Jen Psaki, I think, is doing a way better job than this Jean Pierre lady. Dude.
Yo, Jean Pierre was selected for 2 reasons. She was three. She was a woman. She was black, and she's gay.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
That's the
Checks all
trifecta.
3 boxes.
Like,
That's
you
it.
could be stupid, but you fit all of the social justice
That's all they
boxes.
need.
I need to hire you because you could do the job. Like, it's ridiculous.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
again, it goes back to your social credit score. But man, I forgot what we were talking about. So Jen Psaki was like, listen, Joe Biden came out at 9 o'clock this morning to talk about it to the people. Joe doesn't do anything at 9 a.m. He's a night owl.
You don't say. He doesn't do anything.
He's a night owl. So if he's out here, this is important. And it's like, and then, I don't care what you feel about me or Billy's political views, but let's be honest. I don't think there's a single American that hears Joe Biden speak about anything and feels confidence about it.
Bro, no.
When he
they
comes
here,
out
bro.
and he's just like, everything's fine. Listen, I know, the thing, like, he's just,
You know
do you
what?
feel confident with Joe
Hell
talks?
no, dude. And you know what's funny about that? A clip that would have been perfect to go right after this SVB story was the one where they were asking him in the press. They were asking him in the White House questions. When he came out, he started talking about the SVB bank. Oh, we're not going to bail them out. We're not gonna, but it looks like that's what they're going to try and end up doing anyway. And before anyone can ask questions, people are literally shouting questions that every American wants to know. Bro, the second largest bank in the entire fucking nation collapsed under your watch. And you haven't told us what the hell's going to happen here. Are you going to bail them out? Where's the money going to come from? You literally just walked right out.
Well, here's
No confidence.
Here's the hit that we're missing, and it's not what's really being talked about, is that what they were doing was illegal, right? So
Yes,
they were
yes.
loaning out money and basically trading to try to get money through the interest rates. And then what happens is when you're not getting the returns, they were buying bonds, right? Now, anybody who follows the stock market, even a little bit, knows that the bond market has been absolutely terrible.
Over.
So for you to you now anybody for basics, you now need to sell at a lower price in order to recoup, some of your profits and not lose some, but you're losing millions and millions of dollars because they're not playing like me or you. We're like, I bought $100. We're like, no, they're buying $100 million.
Millions.
But the problem is it's not their money. It's somebody else's money.
Yeah.
Now, what they've done, this isn't just an SVB bank thing. This is a bank thing all across the country and probably the world with the whole financial reserve, the Federal Reserve. This is something that goes on. They're allowed to do this, right? They trade money to each other in order to get different things, and that's how banks make money. There's a thing. If every single one of us, I think I told you this, if every single person in America that, whatever, decided to go to the bank tomorrow and withdraw all of their money, you would not be able to do it.
I know. And it's funny. I was telling my friend about this the other day about what actually led to the collapse of the first depression. It was like that bank run that was initially put out. You
Right.
know, a lot of the big bankers, J.P. Morgan, put out those messages into the press that said, "Hey, the bank doesn't have your money," which was true. And this was even when they were operating under the gold standard. They were handing out more greenback IOUs than they did have gold in reserves.
Right.
They went to the bank, didn't have enough. Whole thing tanks. J.P. Morgan, several of these other banker barons buy up almost all the large corporations in the United States.
And
for
here we
pennies
are.
on the dollar.
We went from being the United States to the corporation of the United States.
Actually, that's a perfect, and that's a damn song.
Well, that's
right there.
exactly. That's
you missed
exactly
the ball, Juan. That's a perfect opportunity.
That's
for
exactly.
Damn, son.
A lot of people don't know about that. There was a meeting between all the big families,
Yes.
the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and they drafted the corporation.
That was on
of,
Jekyll Island.
Yeah, off the coast of North Carolina.
Correct.
In I think the 1940s or 50s.
And you know what's the funniest thing? When
It's not a conspiracy.
I
Look it
know,
up.
I know.
Look it up, dog. It happened.
When I tell people like they met at a place called Jekyll Island,
They think it's a
oh, we woke up Donnie. Sorry, Donnie.
Dingles.
Sorry, Donnie.
Dingle. Don't be waking on my dingles.
But people, I say, yeah. I was like, they created the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
In a place on a freaking Jekyll Island.
You wanna know
that
something?
sounds like a conspiracy. I'm
You wanna
telling
know
you,
something?
it's legit. You even pull it up.
Let's
It's real.
take it one step further since we're there. Any major thing that goes on in the world, if you follow the timeline back, it usually leads you to a Rothschild, a Rockefeller, a Soros,
Warburg,
and one of these big tycoon type names. It always leads you back there. Now, again, when Joe Biden says to have confidence in the banking system, ask yourself this question: we are seeing. We hit the debt ceiling 3 months ago, and they had to extend it.
We constantly hit
Over
the debt ceiling.
$32 trillion. We hit the debt ceiling. We could have defaulted on all of our money. And now you have banks that, and again, another hit. Some of the biggest CEOs of this company were selling all of their shares, large chunks of their shares in this bank. You don't think that's fishy?
Hell yeah.
So
it's
we've got
fishy.
an economy that is in the shitter. We've got inflation through the roof. We've got a debt ceiling that's basically broke through that roof. And now you've got, this is the second bank that did it, because another bank it happened to this week as well, collapse and get bailed out. And you want people to believe the standard dollar bill, so to speak, is something to put faith in, right? And you want to know something that's bullshit, right? And I'll tell you this because my mom made this point and I looked it up. When banks collapse or certain things like that happen with money, gold and silver usually spike,
Absolutely.
right? You know what didn't spike when the banks crashed? Gold and silver.
I wonder why.
You got to ask yourself, because
They're manipulating the markets.
they're
honestly.
manipulating the markets. They're creating volatility. And you guys got to pay attention. So me personally, look, I'm not advocating for taking all your money out of the bank, but
Take your money out of the bank and buy gold and silver.
Again, keep money in the bank that you're not afraid to lose, because the reality is if the bank closes one day,
It's over.
You ain't getting your money back.
It's over.
Read your contract that none of us read.
Yeah, it's over. I read it. but-
Moving on. Whoopi!
Hey,
Whoopi
dreads.
Goldberg. Nah, you cooler than
I
her,
got
bro.
nicer dreads.
You got Billy got nicer dreads than Whoopi.
Look at mine, man. You see when they
And
come
she
up-
rich as hell. You think they would tighten them up?
I mean, they're not bad, but she doesn't have them coming out of the back of her hat cool like mine.
Yeah,
See?
it's all right.
See?
So Whoopi Goldberg admits that politics got in the way of the COVID-19 lab leak theory. Now, Whoopi's had a busy week. We also have another story. Whoopi was caught on air.
I honestly don't watch TV, so I have no idea what's been going on. What
Again, I saw this on Instagram. She got in trouble for, I guess, calling Romanians like gypsies or something like that.
It's called them gypsies.
That's like a slur, apparently.
I mean,
It's like, I don't know. But she had to, she did a whole video I'm sorry, I'm from a different time where we say things and we don't think they're hurtful, but they are. So Whoopi's had a busy week. But basically, and we talked about this on the phone because me and Billy, we talk a lot actually. This is a bigger problem than just the headline.
what?
This
right here?
admitting that politics got in the way with COVID. Me and Billy talk about it. I'm going to let him give you his opinion on it. But
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah,
going to
I want to hear your opinion. Yeah.
my opinion, and I'm going to let Billy go, is that we have to come to terms with the fact that the mainstream media, these talking heads on television, social media outlets decided that it was better to hide the truth from you
yeah.
than to give the orange man or any Republican a W and say, you know what, you might be right. We should investigate what's going on here in China. We should
As
take
we
a look
should.
at where this money came
People
from
died for
and
no
hold
reason
people
because of this,
accountable.
bro.
But again, and I'll take it a step further, and then you can go, is how many people blindly followed people like this, right? Took the vaccines, took the boosters, wore the mask, did everything that they were told, and we're starting to see week by week it get dripped out like a faucet that they played you because they would rather you believe what they wanted you to believe than to admit, you know what, Trump might be right.
Right.
What do you think?
Right.
What do you think about that?
No, but well, if you're gonna say that if I had an opinion, that's 100% what my opinion was gonna be, bro. There was a lot of people that they vehemently attacked them, destroyed them. Many of these doctors lost their licenses for coming out and even saying that, hey, man, if you try ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, these kinds of things will try and
You're a
help
whack
you.
job.
You're a nut job. You lost freaking Dr. Stella Emanuel went around saying that she had a whole bunch of people on record that she's actually saved their lives using hydroxychloroquine. They're trying to destroy this woman and say that she doesn't know what she's talking about. Yet people like like Whoopi Goldberg, they'll put them on television and people will listen to them like, yeah, Whoopi Goldberg. I remember her from Sister Act. Like, she's definitely got the credibility, more so than the lady that's actually out here in the field doing this kind of stuff. Sister Act was a good film, but that's probably the last time I liked Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, and Lauren Hill. Lauren Hill. I used to like Lauren Hill, but Lauren Hill's pretty racist, actually.
What did she do?
Lauren Hill hates white people. Like, she has been very openly. Yeah, she's not.
Really? Had not been paying attention. Oh, well, shout out to Lauren Hill being
so
a
Whoopi Goldberg, maybe you learned your lesson for the next crisis. It doesn't matter who's sitting in office. Stop dismissing everything as disinformation.
Correct. I mean, like, look, and there's things that Donald Trump has done, and I'm the biggest Donald Trump freaking guy to say that Donald Trump happened. You know what I mean?
It's close.
Close enough.
Close enough.
But I'm the biggest supporter of Donald Trump that I know. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. But I criticize the guy on a lot of things that I think he says that are dumb, that I don't agree with, things that, like some of his policies I'm not too a fan of, Operation Warp Speed, for example. But I'm willing to take that out. Some of these people, they'll tell you that Joe Biden did not just close his eyes and fall asleep right in front of you. Joe Biden did not fall up the stairs.
He didn't trip up the stairs.
Up the stairs, bro.
No.
He didn't fall down the stairs. No. He was standing it totally normal. And if it happens in front of him, they turn a blind eye and pretend it didn't happen because they just don't. They don't want their party to look like they're in the wrong. And in all honesty, thus far, since 2022, it's gone super downhill, man.
It really has. So, again, if this doesn't start to bring you to the realization, and again, look, as a conservative, there's a lot of conservatives that speak, and I'm always like,
nah.
Like, I used to but when I first got involved in politics, like, I liked watching Sean Hannity. And now I'm like,
yeah. Sean Hannity, I'm not.
Sean Hannity, like, again, he's one of the people that yaps real loud,
but does nothing.
He's not saying shit.
Right.
Same thing with a lot of these left-leaning. Look, the right does it too.
I agree.
But that's why you need to say, okay, I got my information. I got it from the left. I got it from the right. I got it from an independent journalist. Let me make my own.
Exactly.
Make your own decisions, right? You don't have to be a diehard Republican. You don't have to be a diehard Democrat. Like, come up with your own ideas.
We have what it is.
But we're seeing that more so, especially during the pandemic. A lot of the right-leaning news was just trying to say, like, this is what's going on. And all the left tried to do was tell you that what the right was telling you was wrong. Nobody really wanted to figure it out on either side, right? It was just kind of a circle of blame. And again, I think Russell Brand destroyed that MSNBC guy on Bill Barr.
Oh, yeah.
And he was basically like, you guys are just virtue signaling, trying to tell you that Fox News is the problem when you guys are peddling the same propaganda that doesn't do anything to help the American
people.
people.
On all sides, man.
He's like, why is it that we had a crisis and the pharmaceutical companies got rich? Why is it that when we go to war, the defense companies get rich? Like, so you get into a habit of needing to create problems in order for people to profit, and that shouldn't be the way it should be.
Right.
God, I'm fired up today.
Damn, son.
Now he on point with the buttons.
On point with it. All right.
Moving on. Bam, son.
Biden administration approves the controversial Willow Oil project in Alaska, which has galvanized online activism. If approved by the Biden administration, ConocoPhillips Willow project could unearth up to 600 million within them barrels of oil.
It's a lot of oil.
Much needed in the United States.
You know how much oil we are importing every single day?
Importing.
I don't know. From Venezuela alone.
Off top, I don't know the number.
Tens of millions.
It blows my mind that we're even getting oil from Venezuela. That blows my mind. Like, why are we getting it from them of all people?
Well, that's a point that we're gonna get to. But if we go to the next slide here, so Biden has talked about we're gonna do this oil, while at the same point he has now reversed. And again, these headlines are very misleading, right? So it says Biden administration buckles to environmental group, makes sudden reversal on key land decision. Right now, if you're a basic, like, there's a lot of basic people that just read headlines. They don't actually read the article.
I can't believe he's done
Oh my
this.
God, he did it. But like, okay, I'm gonna break it down real quick. This key land reversal was basically something that Trump's So the department withdrew a land exchange which had been finalized by the former Secretary of Interior in 2019 and aggressively defended in court by the Biden administration. He explained it contained procedural flaws and wasn't consistent with agency policies. But what this was, and again, because it was a Trump-era victory, that's what it is. You can call it whatever you want. It was a victory. And I say that because this project was literally to build a single-lane gravel road that connected one city to another because they had no way to access emergency services. There wasn't a road, and the only way for them to get out of this, and again, for anybody that's ever been to Alaska, Alaska's huge.
Massive. It's
and
the
there's a lot
state
of
in the union.
And there's a lot of places that are just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So this one city was full of natives, right? I guess whatever they're called, indigenous Alaskans, right? And they had to drive or figure out how to get to this one city that had a small airport that could get them the emergency services that they need. Now, we all know if you're suffering of a heart attack or something like that, you need emergency services quickly. So this was literally to build one gravel road across a national park reserve to be able to help these people get services. And they were like, no, we can't do this. So again, the hypocrisy of we're going to drill 600 million barrels of oil, but we're not going to build a gravel road in the name of climate activism.
Nonsense.
Makes
man.
zero sense. And we're going to go to the next slide where the nonsense and hypocrisy gets even worse, because don't take it from us. Hear it from the man himself.
Joe Biden, if you guys recall, when he was on the campaign trail running against Donald Trump, he said, I'm never going to drill. We're not going to drill on any federal land. Never, ever, ever, ever. Right now, suddenly, that whole thing
Why would they
over.
believe you, Billy? You might be lying.
Because, they think that, oh, that's conspiracy. It never happened, Billy. Well, listen to it from this man's mouth himself.
Hear from Sleepy.
Yeah.
Look,
November
like
6th, 2022.
I look out at our country, and I see how the rest of the world looks at us.
I don't
They
think
still
he sees
look
that.
at us as that shining hope. They really do look to the United States. We've got to demonstrate who we are. I see a great nation because we're a great people. We just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's nothing beyond our capacity if we work together. So vote. Get out the vote now. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No more drilling. There is no more drilling. I haven't formed any new drilling. No, that was before I was president. We're trying to work on that, get that done.
Blame
it on Trump.
Blame. And that's only one of the videos. There was another one that was a little bit better, and it was a shorter clip. And
I know,
he was,
but they try and hide
I know.
it.
He was
They
at
try
a
and
press
hide it.
conference.
That's the one I was
and
looking for.
He's like, listen to me, Jack. And he just like
the one I was
refers to
looking
people
for.
with like old-timey fucking
Yeah.
gangster words. Listen to me, Jack.
Listen here, pal.
Buddy.
Listen here.
Want to go behind the gym guy and push the hair down on my legs?
You want to go take a walk, buddy?
Yeah, but he's like, no new drilling. Read my lips. No new Joe Biden does that very weird thing where he whispers, he's like, no new drilling. No new drilling. And you're like, oh.
Okay,
He figures if he read. But anyway, so, right.
Sorry.
It's a dog whistle, right? So that was a key word, right? So again, when I've always believed that Republicans, like most of the time, run on policy. Dingles, you
technical dog of culties.
little French man, always trying to make a run. Where you going?
Making fun of Michael J.
You little baguette. But anyway, when the Republicans run, they run on Juan, stop playing a dog bark. You're making them run. But but when Democrats run, they run on feelings, right? And keywords, right? Abortion, drilling, environmentalism, COVID. Yeah, these are the words that when the base hears it, they run and they go vote. So Biden, again, promised you no new drilling. And here we are, ready to unearth 600 million. Now, again, there's a double-edged sword to this. I agree. We need energy independence. There's
100%.
no reason why.
100%, and we almost had it.
Why we had it at one point. We were actually when Trump was president, we were the number one exporters of energy. I know some of y'all like to forget that. It wasn't Trump. Obama set it in place, and then Trump just
like how Biden blames everything on Trump.
It's how it works, man.
Right.
But we need to be energy independent. We need to stop buying our oil from Venezuela. And again, for my left-leaning friends that believe that this is bad for the environment, ask them this. Why is it okay for Venezuela, right, a communist, murderous regime, why is it okay for them to drill with zero regulations, and we're buying oil from them, but we can't do it the cleanest way possible? Why is that?
Why is it? Well, because, one of the things that's kind of unfortunate about the United States, or at least the population of the United States, is so long as it's out of sight, it's out of mind. If they can't see the problem, like, for example, we'll take everything coming from China, despite the fact there's areas where China's rivers are completely red with all kinds of chemical contamination, but we're not going to say anything about it. We're not going to stop that. But so long as it's not happening here, and we can pretend like we're high and mighty, yet we're willing to go and work with people behind the scenes that don't even have our best interests just to try and save face.
Look, you're not wrong, but I think that the virtue signaling has to stop. We can't as much as I believe renewable energy should be the future. We had man, that's a rabbit hole. But we had
let's go.
We had that shit early. That's why they got rid of Nikola Tesla. The real Tesla, not the one you buying from Elon Musk. The original guy who had figured out a way to give free electricity to people, right? Figured out a way to make, the old subways, right? So in New York, the subways are built on top of other subways.
Correct.
The original subways were based on air compression, right? So
Wait, really?
Bro, so it was used, so it basically used the pressure of the train in the tunnel to propel the train through the tunnel.
How the fuck did they even figure that out?
But that,
I gotta look that up.
No, you gotta look. Bro,
cap.
I'm telling you, I be going down some holes, some rabbit holes,
I gotta
baby.
look that up.
But the truth is that we were the truth is we were way more advanced before the turn of the 19th century than we are now.
I don't know.
There's technology
maybe
like phones and things like that, but as far as the way we were able to travel, they figured out a way to make shit that was free and charge you for it. Think about it. Electricity, water, air. Like, they figured out a way. You want to know something crazy? We used blimps back in the day. The blimps were a great way to get around. And there's actually a video when blimps were big and the Wright brothers were flying one of their first planes. You could see the video was old, but nobody was there. Right. No one gave, pardon my language, a shit about the Wright brothers and their planes because we had blimps. And then what happened? The Hindenburg blew up. It's dangerous.
Oh, the humanity.
But they were using those forever.
That was in New Jersey that happened, right? Ain't that something, bro? A freaking
and now
Nazi
we need planes.
Flew in New Jersey? How wild is that?
I'm telling you, we got to wake up. We got to pay attention to this stuff.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are tuned into the live stream, share it, tag people into it, let people jump in on the conversation. If you guys are leaving comments below, we're going to start responding to some of the comments. So tag people, share the live stream with others. Juan, on to the next topic.
So the next topic. Are you enjoying yourself, Dingles?
Oh, yes, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, like I told you guys before, the Revive America shop is open.
It's live.
And it is ready to rock. We have T-shirts, hats, hoodies. We have all kinds of really cool stuff. Go and check out the website. Go and make a purchase. Check us out. Go to the next slide. Show the people some of the stuff. Yeah, go take a look at some of the merchandise we've got on there. Every time you make a purchase, you help support our mission to help spread the message with the rest of the people across the United States, and you help us keep the lights on. You help us keep the bills paid.
For $1 a day, you could feed a conservative information.
Yeah, so we can send more information.
Right, that's what we want to do. We want to feed you the correct information.
Just buy a nice cool hat. Buy some really cool stuff. Support your local.
You know what?
Patriot.
I've never seen. Speaking of merch, you ain't never seen nobody rocking no Biden merch.
You know, I've seen. I was gonna say let's go Brandon, but I was like, but that's not
Biden merch.
Yeah,
that's
not
that's
Biden
satirical.
Merch.
But like again, and some people are like, I don't need to wear this. But no, let's rewind. When Obama ran,
there was a lot of
people
Obama
had
stuff.
Obama shit.
Right.
People had the stickers. They had the Yes We Can shirts.
Yeah.
They had the change. The
picture.
mosaic. Yeah. The blue and red picture.
I mean, he had cool merch though.
Obama was cool. I didn't know any better. I was young. He was smooth, man.
Come on, like listen.
Smooth.
If he came and he said, "Hey, you want to have some cognac?" You'd probably drink
But
cognac.
Biden, but it was Obama versus what? It was Mitt Romney.
I think even still, bro, like there were no good Republicans.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It was your choice was Obama or Mitt Romney.
I mean, Ron Paul was who I voted for. Once Ron Paul dropped out of the race, which broke my heart, then that was it. Other than that, I was like, none of these guys they're not going to beat Obama.
But it's here, the difference is, look, now we're learning Mitt Romney is basically a Democrat.
100%. That's why it didn't matter. Bro, whether it was Obama or whether it was Mitt Romney, it was a landslide for Goldman Sachs, no matter which way it went.
Shout out, Barack had some merch. He had some cool merch.
He did.
People still got the bumper sticker.
I was just about to say that.
People still got the bumper sticker.
Bro, there's still like old dudes walking around in Patterson with the freaking Obama 08 hat.
It was a free hat they got.
And they still
get out there and vote. Get out there and vote.
Bro, I still got the freaking Make America Great Again hat that I got from
Well, I got you the one in CPAC.
Yes.
The Save America hat. I love that hat. It's nice great. And then Bernie Sanders had good merch too.
Bernie's got good merch. Biden does not have. You're right. Biden does not have merch. Bro.
Step it up.
81 million people, and you have no merch.
No merch. Like
Revive America's got merch. Where's your merch?
Son.
Capitalize. Like, don't you think if this many people supported you, you could make campaign funds?
I'm saying, bro.
Like, you know how much money Trump made off just MAGA hats?
You know how many local candidates you can help with that kind of fundraising?
Crazy. But he don't want to help local candidates.
Of course not.
Come on.
Or even state candidates.
So check out the store. Share it with your friends. Support our goals here.
Revive-USA.com.
Revive.
Share the live stream and also follow us on social media as well.
Yes. On to the next one.
Ooh.
Boom. Go ahead.
Now, this is the scary part. So the title of this episode.
Is this the
episode 10, Is This the End? World War III. God forbid that it will be World War III, but for whatever reason, Joe Biden keeps going over to his pimp over in the Ukraine to give him our money. And it started to make the tension go completely out of control. Right now, in I believe this was over the Black Sea, right? Yes, it was over the Black Sea. The Russian fighter jet forces down a U.S. drone over the Black Sea. So there was basically a Predator drone flying over the Black Sea. These things cost millions and millions of dollars. Okay, millions. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a Su-22 that ran. Did it run into it?
It was well, we'll let you watch the video.
I
and
believe
see for
it flew.
yourself.
It looks like it flew into it. I'm not certain what happened.
It looks like they did a really good job of acting to make it look like they didn't mean to do it, but like. Basically, the jet turned at the last minute. It smacked one of the propellers on the drone. The drone went down in the sea.
Bro, but you know how lit of a pilot you got to be to just be like, oh, let me just tap it and knock that one out of the sky while my jet still flies?
I mean, have you never seen Top Gun? It's possible.
I'm saying, though, bro, that's I would say, listen, screw you, because that's millions of dollars the United States just lost, but top-notch pilot for pulling that kind of maneuver off. Not happy about it, though, still, nonetheless. Juan, go to the next clip so we can show you guys some footage of what actually happened. So this is a Russian Su-22 fighter jet approaching the Predator Reaper drone. I mean, the Predator drone, if I'm not mistaken. And look at this.
It's coming. And then right at the last second, it's like, tink! Smack the propeller.
I don't think it... bro, I think it...
It smacked the propeller.
Bring that video back a little bit.
It smacked the propeller, for sure.
I don't know, man.
I did it. I'm telling you, it happened.
No, I'm not talking about the... I think it shot it, bro. Like, maybe I'm seeing things, but I think it shot the damn... I don't think it just tapped the motherfucker and it falls out of the sky. Well, you know how much these damn things cost? You know how much...
Exactly. So you could say this is a really, really, really expensive accident, or we can start to call it for what it is, and this is Russia testing
They're posturing.
the water.
It's a posture.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
This is the
It's
equivalent.
imposter.
This is the equivalent of being in Patterson and stepping on someone's Jordans.
Yo, what are you doing? Exactly.
What you doing,
That's
dog?
exactly-
Like,
that's
yo,
exactly
that
what it
is that you just stepped on the United States' Jordans,
Right.
Russia.
That's exactly what that is.
Don't
Damn,
step
man.
on my Jordans.
So you know what? So now they're like,
Don't step on them.
all right, what you gonna do about it?
What? Yo, he's French, but he's feisty.
Oh.
Bonjour. So I believe that, again, and now we don't have a slide for it, but we did just see that Poland is now sending MiG fighters over to Ukraine, which, by the way, for all the money we sent, Poland sent 4 jets. Like, bro.
Yeah, because it's a slap in the face. That's why now I'm referring to Zelensky as freaking Joe Biden's pimp. Out of everyone in the world that supposedly supports this nonsensical proxy war over in Ukraine, this is a territorial dispute that many people here in the United States had no clue where Ukraine even was on the map. Now suddenly they're all champions for freedom and change and a bunch of bullshit they don't understand.
You know, there's an article I was reading about how a lot of people don't realize that Ukraine is the one that started the aggression back in the day, like in the early 2000s.
Correct. 2014,
right?
The Azov Battalion,
right? They were killing off people and doing a whole bunch of F-boy shit.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
Bro, I remember being in England when I was in the military, watching like Ukraine slowly descend into chaos until like that powder keg event took place like 2013, 2014, where the Azov Battalion started moving in, overthrew the government, and then basically it became the Ukraine we see today. I remember when all this stuff was going on and thinking like, wow, man, that place is a freaking... I'm not going to say it because they're going to be like, oh, Billy's a racist or whatever. I was going to say S-whole country, but you know what I mean. But it's fallen into the abyss.
Son.
And here we are giving these guys $140 billion, right? I don't even think in this short period of time, hang on for a second, bro. Let me Google something real quick. I want to know how much the Russian military spends on. How much does the Russian military spend annually?
It's probably very insignificant compared to what.
Official 2022 military budget is expected to be 4.7 trillion rubles, $75 billion or higher.
$75 billion. So time out.
Their whole military.
Sorry, wait, no. $75 billion a year.
Right.
We sent $200 billion to Ukraine.
That's what I'm.
So that giant freaking country.
And you can't wipe them out.
Russia is basically a continent. It's huge.
Right.
So
but it's very concentrated.
We've sent almost triple their annual military budget to a tiny little country, and we still having problems. And again, not to shit on Russia, but let's shit on Russia. They are using outdated equipment as far as like the grand scheme of what America is using.
Yeah.
They're a predator attack.
And even more so, bro. It's like they're using very limited capabilities at this point. You got to remember, these guys still have nukes. Do they want to use it? No. But they could also use tactical nukes. They don't have to use a full-on nuclear ballistic warhead on you. They could use something much smaller on the Ukraine if they wanted to do that kind of thing.
This is very true.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, we gave these guys 170, almost $200 billion we gave to these people, and still you can't beat these people who haven't gotten to this point. You should start to realize something at this point, that this is not about the war effort or winning this war or any of that kind of bullshit that
It's
this government's
money
telling you.
laundering.
It's about money laundering, okay?
It's money.
Money laundering. Joe Biden, I know what you and your son did in my country, so I need some of your money to keep my mouth shut.
Pretty much.
It's basically what it is.
You're not wrong.
He's extorting us.
Yeah. All right, on to – oh, no. See, now I love headlines like this because it's just such BS. And, of course, it's from CNN. But think of the fear. We're just talking about Ukraine, right? Two of the biggest 2024 Republican names would mean bad news for Ukraine.
Was that supposed to rhyme?
I don't
The
know if they
two
meant to
biggest
do-
names, the two biggest 2024
names in
Republican
Ukraine.
names.
It's like
would
an
mean
Eminem
bad
rhyme
news
where
for
like
M
it
for
kind of rhymes.
Ukraine. Yeah.
So basically what they're saying is like if the Republicans win,
They're not
Ukraine-
going to be able to go to war.
Ukraine's going to lose because we're not going to give them money. And again, we just told you that Ukraine has already received just from us
Right.
3 times almost
Russia's
the
entire military
annual
budget.
budget. And they
Well,
also
2 times. Well, actually, yeah. a
well,
little
if
bit
it's
more. You're right,
75 and we've given
You're
them
right.
almost 200,
Yeah, close to
75 is 150. We're almost
Correct.
It's
correct.
almost 3 times.
correct.
It's a lot of money, bro.
You're right. I
And
was thinking
again,
about it. You're right.
what we're spending $200 billion on is still probably 10 years more advanced than what the Russian military already has.
Yeah.
So they basically want you to be afraid to vote Republican because for all of you people that have been driving around with Ukrainian bumper stickers and hanging the flag in front of your house, you might feel that we're going to abandon them. We're not going to abandon them, but the truth is we're not going to continue.
Pause for a second. Abandon them. They're not an ally. They're not a part of. They're not a part of.
They're going to make them one.
If they join NATO, it's over. It's over for them. And I'm pretty sure everyone in the freaking planet understands if Ukraine joins NATO,
we're going to war.
100% World War III is happening. Your nation is done. Okay? You're not surviving this. None of us are surviving this.
No.
Okay? At the end of the day, United States needs to back off. Russia, you need to back off. Let them do their own thing if that's what they want to do.
Well, again, how
but
come
they're not an ally of our country? To be honest, I don't even want them to be an ally of NATO at this point, bro.
No.
Because it's like all the nonsense that's happening. We've given you more money where you could rival the entire Russian military threefold. Okay, and now you're gonna join NATO. Now you're gonna bring the war to our doorstep. We can barely afford to feed our fucking families here in the United States.
We're not feeding them. And you want to know what's crazy is the amount of aid, right, that has been given to these companies, that has been given to Ukraine. And I meant to actually mention this when we were talking about the SVB, right? The SVB collapsed,
Right.
and in 2 days they were giving their money back.
Yeah.
The people of Ohio have been waiting a month
Yep.
just to get clean drinking
That
water.
shows you how much this administration actually cares about the American people.
Take it a step deeper, man. I don't even think it's just this administration. This is the entire government as a whole.
Well, yes.
None of them give a shit. It's all posturing. It's all pandering. It's all to move up the ranks. You know, people do good stuff, but, you know, people say what they need to say to get elected, to get the votes that they need, but nothing's actually being done. And again, when you see companies like this being bailed out, you see the amount of money that Ukraine has got. What do the American people get? What's the return? I'm an investment guy. What is the return on my investment here?
You know what's funny about return on investment is Mr. Oranges, okay, who is
That's Eric Adams.
Eric
for those of
Adams,
you.
Mr. Oranges. That's episode episode 5?
6?
Episode 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah.
If you don't get the orange joke or the orange reference, go and watch episode 5
You
or
got to
6.
follow us.
Oranges, baby. But listen, man, freaking, he is, I don't know if you noticed, and I should have added this slide as well too, but he's proposing to give free college to the illegals that are in New York.
Nice.
The amount of people that I've seen on social media, even on his own page, that live in the city of New York that are absolutely furious about this, and rightfully so. But to be honest, man, how did they not see this kind of stuff coming? You know, you've pandered and virtue signaled and opened the doors. We're inclusive. We want this gender. We want that gender. We want this person. No one's illegal. Everything's fine. And now they've forgotten about you, the American, right? People in the there's people in New York that are paying like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month in rent, paying 6-figure loans to their college, yet you have a whole bunch of people that came into this country, sacrificed nothing, or at least gave nothing to this country, I should say, and now we're going to pay for their college? Well, not us, but New Yorkers are going to pay for their college?
Oh, so we've got the Democrats in New York wanting to give free college, the Democrats in California wanting to give $5 million. We've got all of this stuff happening while the infrastructure crumbles, right? The trains forgot how to stay on the tracks. We have people that don't have clean water. We have people that don't have access to good food. We have people that don't, in places like where Kim Klacik is in Baltimore, access to safe schools, right? The reading level is crazy. The graduation rate is astronomically low. We are falling behind in almost every category, math, science, and reading, to all other nations in the country. But we're sending $200 billion to a country to fight a war that, frankly, has zero to do with us. When we have, I think it's something they said, we've donated 75% more than all other countries in NATO combined. Crazy amounts of money. Why does America want to continue to be that face where we are here saving the world, but we can't even help our own people? This is the real question. Right? We could posture and talk, and we could post those Ukrainian flags as much as we want, and we could pander as much as we want.
Send them money.
Sending them money, talking about all that. But the end of the day is we live in communities where we look around and we see drug addiction. We see homelessness. We see starvation. We see people that are struggling to make ends meet. And yet we have the elites that fly around on private jets talking about climate change, sending $200 billion. The ice caps are going to melt. You know, it's funny. They actually, speaking of the global warming, is Greta Thunberg had to delete a tweet that she put out in 2018 saying that the world was going to end in 2023 by the climate change.
In
and
5 years.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are, Greta.
You know what's funny? I can't even believe she's been relevant for that long.
Well, when you have control of all the media outlets, you can do whatever you want.
Unreal.
Come
Greta
on now.
Thunberg.
All right, moving on. Oh,
it's our favorite time of the day. It is time for Sheep of the Week.
Donnie don't like that.
Hey.
Dingles.
And this week's Sheep of the Week goes to Joe Biden.
Joey.
For another awesome slip of the tongue. Joe, that sounds. Wait, pause.
Even Dingles had to look away.
Yeah, sorry, Ding.
Look at him. He's like, oh no.
Donnie, I apologize.
He's French, but he don't get down like that.
Oh no, this is a bit too crazy for me. He had a slip up.
No, he just had a Joeism.
He had a Joe. He had a Joe
moment.
Listen to what Joe said and how the audience responded.
Guess what? You may remember I was running for office at the time, but you all may remember it, that I had a big fight with the former president and maybe future president. Bless me, Father.
Bless me, Father. You're right. Bless you, Father, indeed. Bless you, Father, indeed.
I think that was almost a cry for help. Like, please let this man. I just want to retire.
I want to get out of here,
I just want to go back to Delaware.
You know what? Maybe it
that
is.
What it was. He was like, please let him win.
Maybe.
Let him win. I don't want to deal with this. It's too much. These goddamn stairs. There's so many stairs. Yo, you know what?
You know what? Joe Biden is probably like a subliminal message. How like when someone gets kidnapped and they have like "help me" written on their hand, like "get me out of here."
Yeah,
Poor
yeah.
guy.
So Joe Biden,
come like Donald Trump, come rescue this.
You
guy.
know, even the current president knows his days are numbered. Yeah. You're not winning this election coming up. He knows it's going to be Trump because you've made it so horrible in this country.
The only other person that I see winning at this point from from the Democrat Party side,
Hakeem,
Michelle Obama, dude.
Big Mike.
I don't think they will.
That's
run,
another rabbit hole.
But it's like, yeah, that's a.
Michelle Obama's a man. I said it.
I think she's
I
a man.
said it.
I don't care, bro. I don't care what anybody says. I think she's a man.
packing Thor's hammer. That's it.
Care. Yeah,
it's a man, bro.
Like, oh, Billy, how dare you? Listen, bro.
You know when people are like, "Yo, Dave, you go to the gym. Like, what do you think about like when I hit back day, bro? I think of that picture of Michelle Obama in the strapless dress, bro. She had lats, kid, lats. That's a big lady.
Questionable situation.
Big Mike. Anyway, Joe Biden. I don't think you should run, but honestly, I'm grateful that you're going to run because you're an idiot. You're.
I don't think he's going to be that. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be the guy. I think it's going to be similar to what's going on right now with Bill Pascrell. That guy ain't got it to go again.
Who's going to run?
Benji Wimberly.
Who the hell's that? Is that the mayor, Patterson?
Assemblyman. Assemblyman.
Well, they just pass him on up.
Yeah.
So you think? All right. So Michelle, don't do it. Who runs?
Who could they possibly put, bro? That could beat Trump or even DeSantis. Let's say Trump's not even a nominee.
See, now Donnie's upset because we all know it doesn't matter the candidate that they put up there.
But I don't see any of them being able to do it, bro.
Does it matter? Did we really think that this puppet was going to be able to beat Trump?
See, but the difference between Joe Biden is like Joe Biden, at the very, very, very least, there were a lot of people that voted for him because like that's the closest they're ever
Yes
going to get to
and
Obama.
no, but this was a guy that almost didn't make it out of Ohio during the primaries.
I get
Remember that. He was polling
get it.
fourth under Kamala. Yes.
Yo,
people forget that.
hang on. You know what's funny? Maybe that's why, and this is rabbit hole tinfoil stuff right now.
Dun, dun,
Maybe
dun.
that's why he took so long to actually go
He
over
was like,
to Palestine.
remember that time?
Remember? You put me in fourth
no,
place.
But the truth is
I'm going to let the chemicals stew.
Joe Biden was polling under
Maybe.
Bernie, under Kamala. He was ready to leave the caucus. He couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden he had a miraculous turnaround in Georgia, and then he rallied, and all of a sudden he was the
true.
front runner. And Kamala, who was shitting on this man, literally became the VP, where Joe, we did it. But she was kicking this guy's back
We
in.
need a black woman. And
The,
that's the only
the
why
way
she
that
got the
Kamala
job.
went at Joe should have been elder abuse. She was getting him. She was.
That was not elder abuse. I mean, when you're kind of abusing the government. So fuck you, Joe Biden. But yeah,
I don't know.
Donnie, we're sorry to wake you. I'm sorry your nose
I
is
know. He's so cute.
all dribbly.
Where's my baby?
Thank you for joining us and
Right?
and being on air with us, though,
I know.
Donnie.
He makes
We got anything else, or that was it? Sheep of the week,
That was
right?
it, Sheep
That
of
was
the
it, Sheep of the
Week.
week. Wow, man.
a lot of topics, but they all kind of correlated with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we pretty much hit our time. We got 5 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, within that time, that's awesome. Hey,
It's
man, let's
crazy.
celebrate that.
It's crazy.
First time, on
10
time,
episodes on time,
early,
under time.
on point, no production errors, no situations.
It's crazy. It's
No
cause
headaches.
Cause for celebration.
Yes, yes.
But again, make sure you share this. Make sure you follow us on social media. Make sure you tell your friends to tune in. And share this message. And again, most importantly, Donnie's leaving. Oh,
Donnie?
here you go. Go there. He's
Bye,
out.
Donnie.
Make sure, most importantly, that you think for yourself. That is the most important thing, to think for yourself. Because there's a lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people who go off a lot of this stuff. And again, we're not asking you to believe and buy into everything that we're telling you, but think for yourself. Listen to this show and then go do your own research.
That's it.
And we'll be here next week, 8 o'clock, with a new episode, a new sheep.
8 p.m. Eastern. Your whole new sheep.
Whole
And if you
new
guys
sheep.
have any sheeps, feel free to send them over to us as well.
Yeah,
too.
please. We want to
Send
get
it to our Revive US America Instagram page. Send us information, clips, videos, anything like that you think you would like us to talk about on air. Please feel free to do that. Share us. And also, we're down 14 people to get us live streaming on Rumble so we can finally abandon YouTube because I'm getting sick and tired of the strikes they keep hitting me with. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in for episode 10. Is this the end of Revive America?
It's definitely not the end for us.
It's not the end for us, no.
We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Have a good night.